This podcast is sponsored by Ramp. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/easy. Ramp.com/easy. RAMP.com/easy.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the pregame with Matt and Jax.
This is the pregame. I'm Matt.
I'm Jax.
And college basketball is back in full swing, and we're here to guide you through week 3 of college basketball, or is it like week 2.5?
Yeah, it's strange. I don't even know if you can say 2.5 because, I mean, it's a weird start for everybody. It's 2020. I don't know what to say about that.
This is kind of like a special edition of the pregame, but it's really just because we have a lot of college games and, you know, doing all the college basketball games and college football makes for like an hour-long podcast, so I think it's easier to take it into 2 doses.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna give you a double dose this week of the pregame.
It's like the COVID vaccine, but but it doesn't pierce your skin, and
nor does it cure you.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know. Maybe,
we don't know.
We don't know how many people have had COVID that listen to us. So
we're gonna stay away from that.
Anyways, we're gonna cover some of the better matchups that are coming up between now and Sunday.
Sure.
And then we've got the pick'ems and, some betting odds. Really, we can't go too far in the betting odds either because they aren't out yet.
Right. So because there's not enough to really determine anything at this point.
All right. So tonight we have number 8 Creighton taking on number 5 Kansas. Creighton is doing pretty well defensively at the start of this young season, only allowing 61 points a game, but they have a heavy hitter on the way, as in Kansas.
Yes, this is going to be a really interesting matchup because both of these teams are relatively similar. I think Kansas is a little bit more athletic, but I don't know. We'll see because these teams kind of play a little bit of the same style.
Yeah, and it's not like we're watching college football either because it's not predetermined.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
You can be a mid-major school and still
absolutely.
win a championship.
And Creighton's right there with the heaviest hitters of mid-majors. So, this is going to be an interesting matchup to see just how good Creighton really is tonight.
Well, the interesting thing is Creighton's best player is shooting over 60%, which is pretty phenomenal. Dude's on fire. While Kansas's best player is shooting 40%.
Yeah, again, it's going to be interesting to see what this matchup dictates on the defensive side. Like we said, Creighton's just giving up just over 60 points a game. So, are they going to be? Are they going to tighten up on KU? It's going to be interesting.
And then also tonight, number 10 Duke is taking on number 6 Illinois, and I'm not sure if I trust Illinois yet. They have had a squeaker and a loss, so I'm not totally sure that they have the horses to take down Duke yet in the Big Ten ACC Challenge game.
I'm going to tell you right now, I do trust Illinois because of the balanced starting 5 that they have right now, and they have one of the top players in the country with Ayo Dosunmu, who's averaging 23 points a game already, very athletic and play on both sides of the floor, and just a phenomenal athlete. I think Illinois, I'll make my pick a little bit later on, but Illinois, they will hold their own against Duke for sure.
All right, we'll have to check that out. Tomorrow night, we have number 4 Michigan State taking on number 18 Virginia. Michigan State is looking pretty tough, giving Duke their first L for the season, which we were just talking about, Duke.
It's impossible to really bet against a Tom Izzo coach team. It's just every year. It doesn't matter what type of recruiting class he has. It's always going to be Tom Izzo basketball. They play fundamentally the right way, and they're just so well coached.
Tom Izzo factor that you're just talking about, but also what about the Tony Bennett factor with
There,
the backline
there is
defense?
that. There is that.
You can't drive in on their defense.
That's exactly right.
You have to come out shooting lights out, or you cannot beat Virginia.
That's exactly right. So, yeah, this is an interesting matchup in itself as well, of course, because Tony Bennett, he always has his team ready to play. And, it's going to be interesting to see how Michigan State attacks it offensively. You mentioned that you can't really play that same game against a Virginia team like that. So what are they going to bring against them offensively? What's Michigan State going to bring to the table? So, yeah, that's what makes this very interesting. One
of Michigan State's favorite things to do, Tom Izzo's special, is do high-low.
Right, of course.
And you can't do the low part against Virginia because they're just they force everybody in.
So. Right, exactly.
And
so
it's frustrating. They just frustrate you for 40 minutes.
But that they've obviously practiced against that this week, knowing that they're going to try to do that. So we're going to see what kind of scheme that Tom Izzo comes up with to negate that.
All right, Sunday is the one that I'm actually looking forward to the most. It's number 2 Baylor taking on number 14 Texas. I love Shaka Smart. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. So I have a lot of bias whenever I'm doing that because I think he's a great young coach. I think he's probably going to be one of the next premier coaches.
Agreed.
When he's like 50, he's going to have like 1 million wins.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely.
And finally, it seems like he's got the team built that he's been wanting to have built for years in Texas. It's just taken him a really long time to get those players in.
Right. And now, yeah, you're absolutely right on that. But again, Baylor has a very balanced. This is one of the most balanced teams in college basketball right now, and that's why they're ranked right now at number 2 because they have a balanced squad throughout. And in fact, they got 4 players that are averaging in double digits right now. So, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of squad that Shaka Smart brings out against Baylor, and can they hold their own?
I'm going to say this cautiously, too, because you're saying Baylor's so well in balance. They're almost kind of unproven because they've only had an opportunity to play twice. They should have played the Zags over the weekend. Yeah. Then we would have known what team they were.
Right, yeah, that's exactly right. And that would have been a perfect idea, or we would have gotten a perfect idea of what to expect going into the night. Of course, being this early in the season, but at the same time, we're going to see how Texas comes out and attacks that Baylor squad because on both sides of the ball, they're very athletic and just extremely balanced, as I was saying. So I don't know how they're going to match up against Texas.
Well, let's go ahead and make our way on to the pick'ems and the spreads, which we only really have the spreads for tonight for Super Tuesday, which is the best night of the week because there's literally nothing else going on except for a random Tuesday night football game because it's 2020. But typically tonight would be owned by college basketball and the best best games of the week. Taking a look at number 8 Creighton versus number 5 Kansas, which we talked about a little bit. Kansas is favored by 4 points. I'm going to go ahead and stick with Kansas.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Kansas on this. I just think they're too athletic for Creighton. I mean, Creighton could prove me wrong, and I know they play similar styles, but I think Kansas is going to get the better of them.
Also tonight, we've got Colorado versus number 12, Tennessee. Tennessee's favored by 5.5. Go ahead and stick with Tennessee because they've got a pretty good program going there.
Yes, they do right now. And Tennessee, I'd expect them to get this one pretty handily, especially with the athleticism that they have on that squad.
And this one's kind of a deceiving matchup tonight. Number 3, Iowa versus number 16, UNC. And I'm not trying to rip on Iowa, because I'm sure they're a fine program.
Sure. Yeah, they have the top scorer in the country right now in Luka Garza. So,
but they've also not had to play a team of the caliber of North Carolina.
That's absolutely right.
Iowa's favored by 3 points. I'm going with North Carolina.
I'm going to go with North Carolina as well. You know that Roy Williams loves to use his entire bench, so it's going to be tough for Iowa to really run with them the entire time. And plus, that's going to get so many more defenders different looks against Luka Garza. So, I mean, he's not going to really know what to expect trying to score on them as well.
Number 15, Virginia Tech taking on Penn State. Virginia Tech's favored by 5 points. I'm going to stick with Virginia Tech on this.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty good things from Virginia Tech so far, and I'm gonna stick with them on this one. Penn State's they're traditionally a little underwhelming when it comes to college basketball.
Yeah, all that money goes to football.
Yes, right.
Basketball. Although Virginia Tech, I don't really know how. I mean, they were built by Buzz Williams. He bolted on them to go to Texas A&M this year.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how good the new recruiting class came in, the team that he had built for the past few years, but there's still the 15th ranked team in the country.
Absolutely.
They're ranked that way for a reason.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Number 10, Duke, taking on number 6, Illinois. We talked about this one. Duke's favored by 3.5. I'm going to stick with Duke.
I'm going to go with Illinois. I think they're going to be one of the teams to beat this year. And again, I mentioned one of the top players in the country with Ayo Dosunmu, and they also got some good support, a good supporting cast as well. So I'm going to go with Illinois in this one.
All right, then we've got number 21, Rutgers, taking on Syracuse. They didn't have a point spread on this one, but I'm going with Syracuse on it.
I'm going to go with Rutgers. This one kind of was like a toss-up for me, but I was like, Rutgers, how about them being ranked this year? I was like, maybe they're even better than we thought they were. They obviously, didn't put any money into their football program, so.
Right. Well, I mean, that's typically where they'd put the money into because Rutgers basketball is historically bad.
Yeah, but I mean, they're already ranked this year. Let's see what they got.
Yeah. All right, number 13, Wisconsin, taking on Rhode Island. This is actually kind of a switch-up because Wisconsin was supposed to have played Louisville tomorrow night, and Louisville got run it up because of Prairie View A&M decided to not take any protocols.
Sure.
And get their entire team sick and the entire bubble that they were playing with them. So
Yes.
they clearly did not understand how a bubble works.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Regardless, I'm going to stick with Wisconsin on this, and I hope they can do their thing.
Yeah, right. Well, of course, I think they're going to rebound from what happened this past weekend with that tough loss that they had. And yeah, I think they're just too much to handle right now. And Rhode Island, they're no slouch themselves, but I'd see no reason that Wisconsin won't pull that out.
Yeah, Rhode Island's usually in the tournament every year, so it'll be interesting to check that game out. Northern Iowa versus number 19, Richmond. All right, so I don't really know. I mean, Richmond's good typically every couple of years.
Sure.
They're in a pretty good conference.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to see them ranked, but they also beat the crap out of UK. So that makes me think that Richmond might be pretty good.
Yeah, Richmond's going to be tough to handle. They're expected to be one of the top teams in the A10 this year. So, and I know that conference pretty well. Like I think that they're going to be as tough as anyone there. And Northern Iowa's got a tough challenge with that one. So yeah, certainly Richmond.
Number 11, West Virginia, the Huggins crew taking on Robert Morrison. Remember whenever UK lost to Robert Morrison?
Yeah.
And Calipari before the game was just like, I don't know who Robert Morrison is. It's
right.
like the team that beat you.
Yeah,
jerk.
right.
Anyways, I got West by God Virginia taking this one.
Yeah, I'll take West Virginia as well. I think Bobby Huggins is going to have them ready to go for that one tonight, and probably should be over pretty early as well.
Number 17, Texas Tech taking on Abilene Christian, which, they went real hard to find that opponent.
Sure.
I'm gonna go with Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech as well as Abilene Christian. They're well, good for them for even getting this game on their schedule, but it'll be a challenge. But Texas Tech.
Well, Abilene Christian is going to make some money off of getting beat.
Right.
Number 20, Florida State taking on Indiana. I'm going to take IU. IU upset Florida State last year when they were better and had better players. So we'll see if they can do it again.
I'm going to go with FSU. They got MJ Walker. He's kind of tough all over the court. And, it's going to be interesting to see how Indiana tries to match up against him because he can play down low. He can play up top. And so, I'm going to go with FSU in this one.
This year's also do or die for Archie Miller, too, because he's not really produced.
Right.
Been there for, his fourth year.
Yeah, that sounds right, yeah.
Number 2, Baylor taking on Stephen F. Austin, not Stone Cold. Not Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there in case you're confused. The Lumberjacks. They're going to lose anyways. Baylor's going to top them.
Baylor's going to easily. I see them having no problem with this one. It'll probably be over early, and you'll get a glimpse of to see how good Baylor is. Obviously, not playing the same competition as they will when they will match up against Texas, but against Stephen F. Austin, they'll run away with this one pretty easily.
Speaking of Texas, number 13 Texas taking on Texas State Wednesday night, and there's no reason to think that Texas State should even show up to this game.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, their program just got going like just a matter of years ago. So against the Shaka Smart team, that's going to be more than impossible.
Number 4, Michigan State taking on number 18, Virginia. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think Virginia is going to keep them out of out from underneath the basket. And they're just going to slow them down.
You know, this may be one of the more fundamentally sound matchups that you're going to see all season long from any teams. You're going to see two well-coached teams playing, and I don't know if I don't know. I think that Tom Izzo is going to come out with a scheme, and it's always wrong for me to bet against Tom Izzo. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Michigan State in this one.
What we're basically saying is don't worry about watching the MAC football games tomorrow because this is a game that you're going to want to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the better games you're going to see for the rest of the season, probably.
Number 23, Arizona State taking on number 24, San Diego State. I really don't have a horse in this one, so I just went ahead and went with San Diego State because I really haven't paid attention to either of these two teams.
You know, San Diego State plays in they play in the same conference with Gonzaga, and that conference is always so much more tougher than you would ever think that they would be. And so I'm going to go with San Diego State in this one just for that sole purpose right there.
Yeah, I mean, randomly good players come from those.
Absolutely.
Not Kyrie, but played for. I can see him. Played for. The Spurs forever. Won a championship with Toronto.
Kawhi Leonard.
Thank you.
Yes.
Why are you not reading my mind?
I was looking for you to get there. Yeah.
No, I didn't want to get there. I wanted you to help me. Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do. That's your job.
All right.
Number 9, Villanova taking on Georgetown on Friday. Patrick Ewing still has a job there for some reason. Villanova's going to win it.
Yeah, Villanova. Yeah, I can't see them. I don't think this one's even going to be close. Honestly, I know it's a rivalry, but Villanova's going to take this one pretty easily.
Number 5, Kansas taking on Omaha, which I didn't know they had a school there. But anyways, Kansas.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, this one will be a lot much of an easier game for KU than Creighton will be for sure. So, Kansas will run away with that early.
Speaking of Creighton, number 8 Creighton taking on Nebraska. I guess since Creighton was taking Nebraska, Kansas was like, fine, we'll take Omaha. They're like the second best.
Right. Yeah.
Creighton's going to run over Nebraska.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Creighton will take that pretty easily. It'll probably be the same way that Kansas will run away over Omaha.
We've got the battle for Iowa here. Number 3, Iowa versus Iowa State. Going to stick with Iowa on it?
Yeah, I'll go with Iowa in this one. They're going to be too tough to match up with, especially we mentioned Luka Garza leading the country in scoring right now. I can't see Iowa State stopping him.
See, Saturday we don't really have a whole lot of good college basketball going on, so you can continue watching football on that day.
All right, yeah, absolutely.
Number 20, Florida State taking on Florida. I'm going to go with Florida unleaded.
I'm going with FSU. Again, I mentioned they have MJ Walker. He's one of the better players in the country, and I think this is a good FSU squad. I think we're going to see them get better as the year goes on too.
Number 12, Tennessee taking on Cincinnati. Since they don't have Mick Cronin anymore at Cincinnati, they haven't really been too threatening.
Yeah. I mean, hence why, because in other years you see them at least approaching the top 25. This year, I'm not so sure. I'm going to go with Tennessee in that program.
Yeah, same. I'm going with Tennessee. Number 10, Duke taking on Charleston South. They went real hard to get that team to play with them. Duke's going to win that one by a lot.
Yes, they will run away with that.
Put money
early
on that one.
Yeah.
Put money on it. They'll cover whatever the spread is.
Yes.
It could be 600 points. It doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Number 17, Texas Tech taking on Texas A&M Community College.
Which is the
Come on, guys.
You're right.
Get someone better.
It's like they didn't even try. But Texas Tech, of course.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm frustrated by that. Number 6, Illinois taking on Mizzou. I'll go with Illinois on this one.
I always like to pick Mizzou in this matchup because I've watched this game every year because it's the border war matchup between these two. But Mizzou doesn't have near the talent that Illinois has this year. It's going to be the Illini.
All right, Sunday. If you don't want to watch the NFL, you can watch some college basketball because number 4, Michigan State's taking on Oakland for some reason, and Michigan State's going to win that one.
Yeah, Michigan State will take that one relatively easily.
What seems like it could be a pretty good matchup. number 11, the Bob Huggins West Virginia team taking on number 19 Richmond. I got West by Virginia on this one.
Yeah, and this could be one of those games that could tell just how good Richmond is. They're expected to maybe win the A-10 this year, so we're going to find out if they actually are the real deal. But I still have West Virginia in this one.
Or maybe this could tell how good West Virginia is.
Right.
Because Richmond already proved they can beat Kentucky.
Yeah.
They knocked down a Power 5 team, easy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll just see. Number 5, Kansas taking on Tarleton. Working hard on that one. Kansas, obviously.
I think Tarleton's one of the names that the head doctor on Scrubs used to call Turk. Yeah.
In case you're wondering, Tarleton's in Texas.
Anyway, we'll go ahead and take KU at this one, yes.
Number 3, Iowa taking on Northern Illinois. I'll go with Iowa on that one.
Yeah, I'll go with Iowa as well. Again, the Luka Garza factor. How's Northern Illinois going to match up with that?
Number 2, Baylor taking on number 13, Texas. See how this one will go. I'm going with Texas. I'll take Shaka Smart.
I'm going to go with Baylor. I like their squad. I like how balanced it is. And, Jared Butler, he's expected to be their leading scorer. He's currently their leading scorer as well. I think he's going to be a tough matchup for anyone to defend from Texas.
Number 22, Ohio State taking on Cleveland State. Ohio State, obviously, because Cleveland State, that's not a
that's not a thing. No, I have heard of that school, yes. But
Cleveland State's the best state in Ohio, I guess.
Right. No, yeah, Ohio State, of course.
And then finally, number 23, Arizona State taking on Grand Canyon. I'm being weird and going with Grand Canyon.
What do you know about Grand Canyon?
What do you not know about Grand Canyon? How do you not know that Grand Canyon is actually a good basketball school?
I'm just saying, have you ever seen them ranked? Have you ever seen them, I don't know, have you ever seen them in the tournament?
They have been ranked. They have been in the tournament.
When?
Within the last couple of years.
What?
Yeah. They were a Division II school. They're like a for-profit school. And it was a big deal whenever they actually made their transition to D1. And they have a bigger facility than most schools do, even bigger than what Duke has.
Well, regardless, I'm going with Arizona State.
All right, that's your grave. You can go ahead and jump on in it.
All right.
Let's get in for the college basketball portion of the pregame this week. We'll be back either, tomorrow or Thursday, whenever we decide to focus on some football.
It'll be something like that. Probably Thursday.
Yeah. We'll probably start working tomorrow and be like, I don't feel like doing it. We'll do Thursday.
That's usually how it goes.
So we'll catch you later this week.
Yep.
You just listened to the pregame with Matt and Jax.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, PrizePicks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the PrizePicks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on PrizePicks for a first deposit match of up to $100. PrizePicks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy.